Hey everyone, Paper Guy here with another video. My wife's next to me, mad that I'm recording because she says I'm too loud, which I think is nonsense. Sorry that, you might see I'm not dirty, it's just my child gets yogurt in her hands and grabs my shoulder, so that's a yogurt shoulder. But anyway, another in my series of I play a game and I find something interesting that I coach people a lot on, so I do a little quick breakdown of it. So in this case, in this video, I want to show the power of committing and using commitment to your plan to then pivot into a victory. So I've been playing a lot of Order of the Dragon recently. I really enjoy it. And Order of the Dragon, I mean, a lot of civs do, but I think really does benefit from hard committing to a plan longer than your opponent might intend for you to do so, and then using that to quickly use your eco to pivot into your next step. So I'm playing against Mabak the God. For those of you who are on the high diamond low conqueror ladder, Mabak has seen a lot of people play against him. He plays a lot of games. He was basically like the May of high diamond low conqueror. He played a lot of Delhi. He had like 18 different strategies for Delhi, very unique. And now he's doing the same for Malians. He's been grinding Malians. So whenever I play against him, one, I can expect a little bit of unique gameplay from him. But two, I can always expect a really good match. So as Order of the Dragon, I come in we're on water holes. So there's a lot of food on this map that I can use as Order of the Dragon with my very food heavy units to use. So I decide I'm gonna really all in him. If he does a cow boom, I don't want him to be able to do that. If he does trade, I don't want him to do that. And if I'm really aggressive, that allows me to get the food safely. So I decide I'm gonna very aggressively all in. And I actually start that all in by opening barracks to burn his initial pit mine. Because the thing about this map, waterholes, is that everything's very far away from the TC. If you notice, look at my TC right now. My initial waters that I could go to, one is barely inside TC, the other one is not. The gold is not inside TC at all. So I know that any pit mine he wants to set up will be burnable, and it also means that if I can get a significant enough force, he will struggle to get resources. There's also not a lot of sheep on this map, so if you can really cut off resources and make it hard for them to get anything, they'll bleed out pretty fast. So I'm gonna do like 2 or 3 spearmen, maybe a tower if I see the opportunity. I scout pretty close to his base to catch what he's opening with. Here comes my first spearman. And he immediately drops a tower. Now, I thought he scouted it. I looked, he never actually scouts my barracks, but I think me and Mabak have played against each other so many times, and he knows I like being aggressive Order of the Dragon, that I think he literally just built the tower because he assumed I was going to make a spearman. And it's not uncommon for HRE Order of the Dragon to make spearmen to burn down the pit mine. So I think he was just like, F it, might as well just drop a tower anyway. So lucky guess by him. The second I see the tower drop, I'm going to run a villager up to drop a tower myself. Reason being, once I'm committing to the aggression, if someone ever drops a tower on one side of gold, you can always tower the opposite side. They can't stop it because they don't have it fully upgraded. And since I have units there, I can protect it. And we're going to do a little dance here soon. So I'm going to commit to 2 more spears, I think, or 1 more spear. Almost lose the villager. That would have been real bad. Now I'm building the tower. And I have to do this delicate game of he might pull villagers any second to burn the tower. I still need to scout, but I'm basically bouncing back and forth between my TC and this to catch him, doing some sort of pull. I have my second spearman on the way, and now I decided I gotta rush Feudal, which I already almost have the food for Feudal, so I need to rush gold. So I'm gonna pull half my food villas to my gold just to quickly get to that Feudal timing. I have to be careful so I don't run under his tower, and lo and behold, I get my second spearman there, and he does villager pull. Now, what do you do in this instance? The goal of the villager pull is to quickly burn your tower, so you either lose the wood or lose the tower. And so, the way to think about it is, if he's pulling, he's pulling 12 vills, that's a huge eco loss for him. Like, those villagers are not gathering, and that's damage for me. So my goal is to keep the vill alive, and then if you have the APM, just keep retiring. You don't have the APM, just bring the vill back. You've done damage. Like, he had to walk all these vills out. I might kill a villager, so I'm going to keep trying to tower. He keeps trying to hunt my vill. These 2 vills are not gathering at all. He loses a scout. I'm now aging up. I'm dropping the tower again. And every time he does these vill pulls, Like, look at how much, like, he couldn't decide. Did he want to Villapole? Did he not? He doesn't have the resources for age up yet. He way over gathered gold. He doesn't have enough food. So this pressure is causing him to make mistakes already. He hasn't gathered correctly. He's really late to Feudal, and that's a huge advantage for me. And that all comes from this early pressure here. So this commitment to pressure and going all in on it, already paying dividends for me. So we're going to speed up a little bit here. At home, I'm going to open mine work. Reason being is I'm just going to go super heavy to men-at-arms. Now, of course, he can make Musafati, which are the counter, but my men-at-arms are so tanky, and I want the mine work upgrades. Once again, we do a little tower dance. I tower it again. He's still just wasting so much time doing this. I lose a Vill, but I'm going to kill 2 of his own Vills. So, a 2-to-1 Vill, I come out on top of that, and once again, the amount of wasted time he had running these Vills around is good for me. He's going to drop Saharan Trade Network, which is also great for me. I think maybe he wanted to trade, but he just never really had the chance because of the pressure I was putting on. Or at least he wanted to protect this food source here. So I go mine work because, once again, since I'm committing to basically an all-in Feudal, I really want the Golden Caress and the Iron Undermesh quickly and cheaply. And if I go Men-at-Arms, then if I can force him in a lot of Musafatis, I can make archers and counter that. Unfortunately, what I didn't think about was that I should have gone archers. So instead I opened horsemen because I wanted to raid on one side while fighting with my men-at-arms on the other. And horsemen can also counter Musafatis. I really should have gone archers. So if I was to do this differently, I would have opened archers immediately with my men-at-arms. But c'est la vie. So I'm just rallying units forward. I'm getting wheelbarrow. I briefly thought about doing pro scouts, but I said, F it, I'm just going to run out onto the food down here myself. I'm rushing up a ram. I already got 2 units here. I have another spearman guarding his other gold, because these are all his golds right here. Gold. Thank you. She couldn't take it anymore. Just too much AOE 4 analysis happening in this household for her. So I see his front golds, his back golds, so he's only on 1 pit mine. He's not getting passive gold because he's doing Saharan Trade Network, so I'm feeling pretty good. I haven't seen units, so he's rushing castle. Oftentimes, I think you die to a fast castle. He tries to pull the boar here, which in the end, he just brings the boar closer to my mill. I even message him, thank you for bringing the boar close to me. Thank you, brother. I'm going to leave a spear down here just in case if he tries to, like, use a scout to attack me. But here's the thing. If someone's going to rush castle and you're making units, it's actually fine for you, because they don't have any units. So if they age up, just attack, cut off resources, and they're going to struggle to get anything out of that castle because they don't have any units and you're cutting off their resources. This is what I wish I really had made archers, but I'm dropping my ram. Here's the thing. I actually probably could have been aggressive without the ram. I could have walked in here with my men-at-arms and just disrupted, pushed them off resources. Once again, if I was to do this differently, now Saharan Chain Work does delay that, but if I was to do this differently, I probably would have walked in with my men-at-arms and tried to delay things up here just a little bit. I'm dropping the ram. And I'm not making farms. I'm going on deer, I'm going on boar. I'm using the resource as much as possible. I'm dropping a second barracks. I am hard committing. I start attacking. I know he just aged up, so he has no units. Go for the tower. And so what would have been absolute death for me is if I had immediately backed up and given him space. The pressure here is really, really important. I'm still making units, men-at-arms, horsemen. I now have 2 barracks. I can double produce men-at-arms. I have the most important upgrades, which are air defense. And I've got some eco upgrades. He immediately pushes my Vill off gold up here, so I know that he probably wants to send Vills up there, so I'm going to run my horsemen around. And now I've separated my army because my horsemen are going to go raid, where I can see he's making the next pit mine, and I'm busting down this pit mine in the front. Boom, I catch all his Vills running. His Vills still are not gathering. This is a huge, once again, eco loss for him. He can't do anything. I see the veteran Mansa Musafatis. Not great. I have no archers, so I immediately rush up an archery range in response to seeing the Musafati, and I just run. He's chasing me. I'm about to destroy his pit mine up front. Boom, there goes his passive gold. He's still chasing me. I'm still running away. Still running away. And at this point, I have to judge. Do I have enough units to fight this? I have 5 men-at-arms, a spearman, 3 horsemen, In my mind, I'm like, yeah, these are Castle Musafati, but let's go for it. So I take the fight. My horsemen will do well against Musafati. Musafati are doing 9 plus 15. So they're doing 24 damage a pop to my early men-at-arms. So we'll take about 5 hits each. So I'm taking this fight, and I'm like, am I winning this? Am I not? I clear one group, and then there's the second group of Musafati. And in my mind, I'm like, he can't maintain this production. I checked the Fog of War. He is on deer over here, but he's definitely out of sheep. And I think things are pretty tenuous for him. I start adding in archers, and I'm still just making units, but my food is so good right now because I went out onto the food over here. I decide I'm going to try to rush castle at this point. This is my best chance to get caught up. So here's a little tip. So I've committed pretty hard here. I've made multiple waves of units. I've attacked and destroyed pit mines. I've been raiding. And at this point, I realize if I had been massing archers from the jump, I probably could have fought this continuously in Feudal. But without an archer mass, he is gonna beat me back. So I need to get to castle. So I'm gonna hard commit to castle. The second I decided to do this, I pulled most of my villas off of wood. I'm gonna throw them on gold. I have my villagers on food resources around the map, and I am rushing castle. A big thing to do when you need to buy time is use your fast units, your cav, to raid around his base to force him to chase, because I don't want him to attack me yet. I'm going to pull the units I have made backwards, and now I'm rushing castle. I'm using the horseman to distract. I'm running on his food resources. He runs into base, and here's where he fixes his first mistake. Musafatis will not live very long near TC, so he charges my vills. I got under TC, and now they're dying. I've made some archers. And now that I have cleared this wave of units, it's time for me to go castle. I did commit enough to continuously make some archers for the counter, but you notice like the second I saw the unit he was making, I immediately made the counter. I catch his villagers over here walling. Gonna kill those vills. Pop, pop, pop. And I'm being super greedy here. Like, I'm on 2 different little pawns. I'm trusting that I have him on the back heel enough that he can't actually stop me. If we look at him currently in our current situations, he has 3 units, and that's it. So he can't raid me. Why is he so behind in unit production? Well, my commitment and my early pressure worked. He had enough built up resources to make that initial Musafati wave, but then he had to rebuild the pit mine, he had to start walling, and he doesn't have a lot of food. He was afraid of my, and since I was horseman raiding, he moved his villagers off the deer here to over here, so he has no food. He literally cannot make more Musafati right now. And so with the pressure accomplished, running my horsemen around, committing to those 2 like fights at the front, but then pulling back in time to defend, because the counterattack was coming, was that he actually cannot follow up. Him going castle has not gotten him anything really. He will get relics, but his eco's been constantly an issue because I keep making him run around. So that's like the point of the commitment, that I can't let him get castle for free, essentially. And I never like dove under his TC. I never tried to do anything that was too dumb, but I did try to continuously make his villagers not do anything. I'm gonna save these horsemen, run him back. I'm going to push forward here because I had a sense that he was struggling on food, and I didn't think he had a lot of units. So while I'm trying to get to castle, I'm walking forward. I actually committed to more units here because I thought, man, he must be in a really bad spot. So I push again. And this is something I've been personally working on. I feel like a lot of times I get too complacent, and like after the 10 to 15 minute mark, I sit back too often. So I was like, I just cleared his Musafati mass. I coach people on the time. If you've killed a lot of units and you have units, you got to push. So here I am pushing. In my mind, I'm like, if I can destroy this pit mine again, that's a huge eco loss. There I am killing the pit mine. I've got, 5 archers, horsemen, and men-at-arms. And this is where I decide it's time to go castle. Once again, putting the pressure on while rushing castle. I'm going to go Regnitz. This was kind of dumb. I really should have just gone Burgrave for the commitment. And also, he's been grabbing relics slowly. I didn't really realize that in the moment, but he can't, look at this. He has now 23 Musafatis, but he's afraid to push because of the archer mass. And I think, once again, the pressure has forced him into a pretty straightforward comp. He hasn't been able to diversify because he's been just trying to survive because of the pressure I've been putting on. He's also afraid to leave his base. He knows my horsemen around, so he's not being as greedy on the resources he is on the water up here. But like, it's been hard for him to match my production and my eco. I kill the pit mine again, getting up the castle, and I'm prepping for a castle eco, so I'm dropping a tower in front of my gold in case he rushes again. I have 9 on gold. I really should have had more, to be honest. I'm aging my wood villagers because I know I need a lot of food and gold at the start. He pushes out here. It's a lot of units, but my archers, even though they're feudal archers, are doing a pretty good job clearing these Musafatis. They're two-shotting them as a group. And my meta arms are just so tanky, even though they're being countered. I age up. And I'm going to lose this mass, but once again, I forced him to trade out a bunch of his own units. I don't know if that trade was necessarily a great one for me, but I did okay, in my opinion. I still have my 3 horsemen in the north. I'm using the raid. I'm checking food spots. The second I age up, I immediately just start making the counter units. What's the counter here? If he's going to have Musafati, I'm going to have Landsknecht. And Landsknecht are so good against so many units that the Malians have because they're low health units. Landsknecht does air effect. I'm going to get the Zornhau. So I just start massing Landsknecht. Another reason why I think I should go on Bergrave, I got them cheaper. Crossbows and archers. Why crossbows? Crossbows because if he makes a Sipahi, not Sipahi, what are they called? Sofa. Sofa could be a problem. Even against like Lankships would do okay against Sofa, but I'm making the crossbows just in case. I once again catch him on food, so now he has to run. That's all of his food villagers. So the issue he has is that since once again the pressure he's feeling, and since all his food is really on this side of the map, every time I catch him, it's all his food vills. So he's running right now with 18, 15, like over 30 vills. And he's not gathering food during this time. So this consistent raiding and commitment to pressuring him is making it hard for him to really gather the force he needs. I start making... Pausing. Starting back up in 3, 2, 1. And now I'm just trying to get out a mass of Landsknecht. And really for the horseman, I just gotta keep him alive. Like, I see these Musafatis, I see he's still going Musafati, and he has to commit. Like, he has to chase them away because he needs food so badly. That's the negative of him not doing cow. It's like he really does need to gather the food on the map, and he couldn't have gone cow boom the whole time because my pressure never gave him time to build it, so he had to rush castle to counter my pressure, and then he's been constantly just trying to survive since then. While I am just feasting on the food resources on the map because he's never had the ability to... Now, he could have sent a couple Musafatis to check, right? But he's just been so concerned about his own eco. It's been hard for him to consider that. Get the horseman back alive. Now we're chilling. I'm getting upgrades. I'm healing my units. I'm going to get Zornhau here in a second. I start slow adding farms because I know I will be running out of food soon. I try to grab the relic here. I have 1. Sorry for the sickness. My child got me sick again. Being a parent is just being constantly sick from your child's illnesses. I give him the relic because I know, because I've committed so hard onto this, I know that this is going to come down to, you know, one really good push. I build up more horsemen. I keep raiding. I know that I can't let him get comfortable. I can't let him boom ever or feel comfortable enough to boom. So I'm going to commit to keep raiding. How do I know where to raid? Looking at the map, where could he be? Unless he's at the food sources down here, which would be pretty brave of him. I know he has all the foods up here, right? And he hasn't had time to make cows. If we look at his base right now, no cows. He doesn't feel safe enough to take these food resources. I gotta keep raiding up here. So I know he has to be up here. I'm using the raiding once again to buy myself time. I need to build up more units. I need to get my upgrades. I need to keep making units. Boom, catch him up here again. And look at that. That is 26 villagers on the run again. I'm going to kill a few. So he's just continuously having to run away. And since my horsemen are faster, I get out. And it's just really frustrating to him. Another positive is that since I'm making so many horsemen, what's he want to make? He'll probably want to make either Musafati, or if he goes into Donzos, my light should counter both of those. So I'm like scaring him with this unit, this amount of horsemen I have, and then already pre-making the counter to that even though, you know, he also has Mustafatis. And he never checks what I'm making. If he ran a scout up here and saw that I was mass Lance, he might go mass archer right here, which would really ruin my day. But once again, I think the pressure and how much I'd been pressured this entire game, he never had the mind space to go, okay, I need to send a, you know, he has a bunch of warrior scouts to tank, but he never just sent one forward to go, okay, what's he have, and then make that adjustment. He is going to start making mangonels, but my main force here is the Lanchinect, which are not going to be hurt that much by mangonel. If he had made Springles, that would have been a different matter, but the point I'm trying to get here is that commitment to my game plan of consistent pressure, going all in and then pivoting to the fast castle, but then continuing the pressure is key, because I just could never let Malians like sit back and get the eco going that they want. And since he felt that pressure, he never considered, I gotta walk forward and check what he's going and then make the counter for that. So big thing here is, once again, I can't sit back too long. If I sit back too long, he's going to get his eco going, and then I'm going to be sunk, because the Malian eco can get really nutty really quick. Also, just to be straightforward, I'm running out of food resources. I'm burning through most of my pawns. I'm going to start adding farms soon. And I know once I start doing that, it's going to be a rough transition. So, you know, seize the day. I'm once again just keep checking the food spots up here and hoping to catch his vills. A big thing for Order of the Dragon is getting the Inspired Warrior. Since you have such fewer units in your army, the Inspired Warrior is giving 15% damage and 1 armor is actually huge for an army this size. But I walk forward with 11 Lanchinect, 6 archers, 2 crossbows, and a spearman. And I push. I also send 1 Lanchinect down here. Now, raiding with OOTD Lanchinects is actually really good, because if you catch a group of villagers, you could kill like 4 of them in 3 swings. So, really good stuff there. So I push forward. I see this military. I see no range units, and I go, I think I got this. He has 37 Mustafati, 19 veteran warrior scouts, 2 mangonels, and let's see who wins. And during this time, I'm going to run my horsemen around and keep looking for his villagers on food. Let's see this fight. He pushes up. He's gonna run his veteran warrior scouts past my melee to get on my ranged. They do +9 to range, so they're pretty good. They're pretty good against range units. I'm just gonna basically run my ranged into the back of my Lanchinect and let them work. So watch this fight. So my Lanchinect have the bleeding and the area of effect. As his units just start falling, man. All of a sudden, all the warrior scouts are gone. All the Mustafati are gone. And standing is my Lanchinects. You see those mangonels are really doing no damage to them. I run them down. At this point, I know he's in a really bad way. My horsemen are now coming down to raid. At this point, I know he has no units, so we're just going in, maybe. I just keep making units in the back, rallying them forward, and now my horsemen are just on hunt the villager mode. I run down the siege, but look at his current situation. His income is 300 food a minute. He has no food left. All his villas are on gold. He literally has run out of food. So attacking at this time ensured that he had no follow-up. All his villas are on food and gold, on wood and gold right now. Because of that consistent pressure I kept applying to the areas where food was located. And now it's just a cleanup. His villagers are on the run. He has nowhere to go. And that's gonna be GG. So that was a fun game. Mabox had my number plenty of times, so it was good to get him on this one. I hope you got a little bit out of that game, especially on the ideas of consistent pressure, and the idea of commitment and like how to adjust and use your commitment to your plan to better increase your chances of winning. If you look at the end results, got a lot more food than him, a lot more wood, and even though he got almost all the relics, more gold as well. And that's mostly because his villagers are always moving, mine were not. So that's just, once again, goal of the video is this show. I committed to a plan. I followed through, even though, you know, he had castle, I still applied that pressure, kept bringing the pressure while pivoting to my own castle once I felt like I had the space. And then once again, attacking as soon as I could, not sitting back and letting him do what he wanted, but realizing I have made him move a lot. The sooner I attack, the better. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you check out my coaching services, check out my other YouTube videos, and good luck on your games.